Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Wednesday the 16th of December.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And with me, Sherry Uwase, who is stepping in for Yvette.
Alright, over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. Now, of course, unfortunately, Yvette is not...
she couldn't make it to be on the show today.
Yes.
But in business, what I have is Beka has taken a turnover. So things are really looking up for the Bank of Kigali.
Alright.
And I'll tell you more about that.
Alright, Moses, what's in the world of sports?
A lot has been happening. The UEFA Champions League draw happened on Monday at lunchtime. And guess who will meet who and how they will play. More drama will happen. And of course, things are happening in Premier League. I'll tell you in details.
All right, can I wait to hear the drama? I'm pretty sure you have a lot of work to do for us today because you have to even deliver lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. And what I can say about lifestyle today, we're going to look at how people can take small things that are actually about healthy living. So I'm going to give you just a few tips on how to be healthy.
All right then. Yeah. Well, all that and more still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day. And now, as always, we always have a story of the day for you. But this one had to be a special one. Because, you know, in the same spirit, we have a Gallup and Young Achievers organization. An organization, of course, run by young people that is hosting an event they named Fuel a Dream. The purpose of the event is to raise funds that will be used to create an all-new youth-led scholarship fund for children from remote areas who do not have access to great education. Now, joining me in studio today to talk about the event is Ituze Stella and Uwase Angela. Guys, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right, now, of course, in my mind, for people out there, they know a little bit. I know a few know about Gallup or, you know, Young Achievers, but briefly, starting with Ituze Stella, what is Young Achievers and what is Young Achievers all about?
So Young Achievers is an organization that was funded by young people with the aim of empowering our peers to be proactive in the environment and take decisions and impact the environment at large in their communities, basically.
All right, impact. Now, moving on, of course, to Gallup now. I want to know what's Gallup.
Okay, so Gallup is originally a UN foundation that is focusing on empowering girls all over the world to participate in their own empowerment, because almost all the time we find that governments are putting strategies to empower girls, yet we believe that girls have the biggest tool, are the biggest tool to empower girls in, you know, different communities. So basically, Gallup Rwanda is an organization that focuses on empowering young women to empower other girls who do not have the same opportunities they do, but who want to do something in their communities. So we do public speaking, creative writing, all these things that, you know, empower girls with the confidence they need to do something great.
Oh, wow. Good to be born in the girl of Gallup. So, in the world of Gallup, so I don't know, I should maybe come up for the public sessions and public speaking session. But of course, moving on, when I looked at this event, it kind of attracted my attention because of the whole motive behind it.
Okay.
But again, we need to understand what was the whole idea when you guys first, you know, came up with the whole plan to have this event, and what were your main intentions?
So, to begin with, when we had the idea, the whole purpose of it was so we can get young people to involve themselves in activities and the things that take place around them. So then we thought to ourselves, what are the things that these young people mostly do? So teenagers, most of them are involved in dancing, music, poetry, and all these talent-related things, right? So Girl Up and the Young Achievers were sister brothers organization. So both organizations wanted to give that talent, the raw talent, a purpose. So then we thought that maybe we can use their talent to sort of give opportunities to other people who don't have the opportunity to go to school, who don't have the opportunity to pay their own school fees, even their families, for that matter. So basically, the idea of Fuel a Dream was to get us young people to be the drive, to be the own people who take care of matters such as paying school fees for another child, basically.
Of course, now I get it, education. But why the main focus on education? I want you, Angela, to come in on this one. Why was your main focus on education? Why not the health, or is something else?
Okay, so personally, I think that we've all had, most me and Stella and other people, we've had the opportunity to go to good schools and, you know, have a good education, and we understand why that is important to us, because it not only opens your mind to the opportunities out there, but it also makes you an individual who can be able to compete with other people for those opportunities. So we can do health, we can do all these other things, but at the end of the day, it's going to be us handing things to those people. What we want to do is that, can these youth, after, you know, at the end of the day, go out there and, you know, invest in health, invest in all these things. So we thought education was the best way to invest in all those other sectors without automatically, you know, being us handing things to people.
All right.
So that was our focus.
All right, education was the best way to handle that. Of course, moving on to Stella now. Now, after selling out the whole idea, of course, the main event is happening. I want you to clearly tell people out there, of course, most people want to turn up. So tell us exactly a little bit about the event.
All right, so to all my people out there who like to turn up, and all of you who will turn up, so a lot of times you attend events, a lot of times you go to concerts, you attend people, you see people singing, you see people dancing. But what if for once, at only 2,000 Rwandan francs, you attended an event, had fun, listened to the music, danced, laughed, but after all of that, pay somebody's school fees, build a foundation for them, give them a future. So all of that, that's what makes Fuel a Dream different from any other event.
Right.
You have the same fun, but for once that fun fuels somebody's dream.
Right.
So everybody, you're welcome this Thursday. It's at Sports
Very
U
welcome.
at 3 p.m. Only 2,000 Rwandan francs, and invite your friends, your peers, and anybody else.
And be on time.
Now, for a moment, I thought Stella took over my position around here. But anyway, that was good. I would like to say, of course, most people are likely to attend the event because of the good cause, and of course, the entertainment out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But of course, Angela, what's some of the people that were waiting to see at the event, and what do you have for us? What's cooking in your package for us on the same day?
There are so many, I cannot finish them, but let me see. So we have Six City Entertainment crew coming to dance, snipers,
Well, those are
Afro-Cuts,
dance
yeah, they're all dance groups, and Andy, Wavia, Tora, Joel, Rutama, all those people, all the cool people you know in team shows, they're gonna be there. So, Fashion Killers, Hazza Agency, they're all going to rock your evening, so please be there.
All right. So, of course, lastly, of course, what would be your main message? One message from you in a few seconds, because we're out of time. What would be your message on this main day, if I was to give you a chance to say so?
So my message on this very day is that everybody should be the agent of their own empowerment.
Perfect.
Is that if you want something achieved, you should be the one to take a step and do it.
Alright.
So if there's a problem in the education system, why wait for the government? Why can't you do it? So my message to anybody out there is that if you want something done and something bothers you, go ahead and take a step and do it.
In 3 words, Angela.
Okay, that's difficult, but my message to young people with this event is that if you have a talent, just go out there and transform people's lives.
Transform people's life. And now we stop it from there. But of course, you had it from Angela and Ituzo. And of course, go out there and, you know, enjoy the fun, but with a good cause. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Business Stories coming up next with Sherry Uwase.
unbelievable, but what you see is what you pay.
Business stories making headlines today. Bank of Kigali and Crystal Telecom were the only active counters at the local exchange, with the lender recording 29 million francs in total turnover from 103,500 shares traded in 2 deals. The Rwanda Stock Exchange daily market report for Monday indicates. The financial institution closed at 280 francs and changed from the previous session on Friday. On the other hand, Crystal Telecom registered 166,600 in turnover from 1,700 shares traded in 1 deal during yesterday's trading session. It was also constant at 98 francs compared to Friday closing price. The Rwanda mining sector is set to benefit from $40 million credit guarantee fund. The fund is to stimulate lending the mining sector by reassuring lenders that in the event of default, part of the fund will meet the loss incurred. Mining is the second export revenue earner in Rwanda, employing about 30,000 people. However, investors in the sector complain about lack of credit, which has stalled investments in the sector, resulting into low volumes of minerals traded. And sub-Saharan African economies are struggling with rising interest repayments on their international bonds. Falling commodity and oil prices, as well as falling currencies, have led to higher repayments on their Eurobonds as investors demand transparency on their listings and spending of the proceeds. Over the first 9 months of this year, sub-Saharan African economies issued international bonds worth $2.9 billion compared with $5.9 billion in the same period in 2014. Now you're up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next with Moses Vilikunzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sport news. I am Moses Vilikonzira. Starting with local chess games, Niyibizi and Shimwa were crowned 2015 national chess champions. Ale Pasia Niyibizi and Mali Faustin Shimwa are the 2015 male and female national chess champions, respectively, which concluded on Sunday at IPRC Kichichiro in Kigali. It was a tough fight for top honors during the annual contest that was dominated by Eagles Chess Club players, since Niyibizi, who scored 7.5 points, outclassed last year's winner, and teammate Alexi Ruzigira, who scored 7.0 points in the 9th round open contest that began on Thursday. In the ladies' 7th-round event, defending champion Shimwa of Knight Chess Club was unbeaten with all 7.0 points in their 2-day event. Now onto the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal handed nightmare Barcelona draw in last 16 of the Champions League as Chelsea take on PSG and Manchester City face Dynamo Kiev. Arsenal will face holders Barcelona in the Champions League last 16. Chelsea has been drawn against Paris Saint-Germain for the 3rd consecutive season, while Manchester City face Dynamo Kiev. Roma versus Real Madrid and Juventus, last year's beaten finalist against Bayern Munich, are two of the standout matches in the draw. First leg are scheduled to take place on 16th and 17th and 23rd and 24th February. Return legs are on 8th, 9th and 15th and 16th March. In Europa League, Manchester United face Danish side Midtjylland in the last 32 of the Europa League after dropping out of the Champions League. Liverpool will play Augsburg, and Tottenham Hotspur has been drawn against Fiorentina. And finally, how much can Jose Mourinho survive? Mourinho's woes at Chelsea continues as he excuses players of betraying his work and then give up on the top 4 finish after Leicester defeat on Monday. Leicester City returned on top of the Premier League and increased the pressure on Chelsea's manager Jose Mourinho with victory at King Power Stadium on Monday night. Jamie Vardy's 15th goal of the season and Riyad Mahrez's 12th strike of the season sealed the win for Claudio Ranieri's side. Chelsea substitute Loic Lemy pulled one back, but Leicester City survived in relative comfort to make back ahead of Manchester City and top of the table. The reigning Premier League champions, in contrast, lie just a point of the relegation zone in 16th place, with Mourinho fighting for survival.
Now, Moses, I have to say this.
Yes.
For now, the Chelsea fans, I'm pretty sure, they're already in the hotbed of this in this Premier League.
Absolutely.
And now, if you look at what Mourinho was saying to the journalist, he said, and I quote, "I worked 4 days on this match. I prepared everything related to the opponent. I identified 4 movements where they score almost every of their goal. My players got all the information and training in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is they still have betrayed me."
That's exactly what he's been saying. You know, the reason why he's saying that is when you look the way Chelsea is playing right now, one way or another, there's a miscommunication between the manager and the players. Because
Could it be now that the players don't want Mourinho?
It could be, because that has been the culture in Chelsea, especially for Mourinho. Mourinho actually is the only manager who has sustained more than 2 years, because other managers was 1 year and go, 1 year and go. And for the last 11 years and so, Chelsea has sacked more than 9 managers. And Mourinho was one of the scapegoat. Actually, he came back. This time around, Mourinho is the worst manager to recover a team from misery.
Of course.
Because he has never been in this situation in his life. And Jamie Carragher, one of the pundits, the former Liverpool defender, said, one thing has to happen, and Roman Abramovich, the owner of Chelsea, has to take action, because either Mourinho goes or some of the players get cleared out in January. But I can see a manager going, because Chelsea has a big plan. Because remember we talked about this when Monaco put 35 million pounds on the table trying to buy Jose Mourinho's contract, and Abramovich refused, because Chelsea has a long plan. They are planning to build their stadium, a 60,000 fan stadium, and have a lot of projects to go on. And sacking manager is not one of the.
But look, are we seeing the downfall of Mourinho at this point?
Absolutely, because statistics says that there is no time any team in the Premier League has scored 1 point every month. Chelsea has 15 points out of 16 games. It's actually less than 1 point a month, every match, I mean. And since 1978 to 1977, the only teams who had who lost more than 9 games, the 50 of them were relegated. You cannot say that. There's no way Chelsea can come back. There's no way Chelsea can be in top 4, and there's no way Chelsea can be in top 6. Actually, they are 1 point on top of the relegation zone, and there are only 3 points on. Of course, there's no way.
Yes, of course. The drama keeps on continuing, and we can let's wait and see what happens to Chelsea. Maybe what's the future for Chelsea? But of course, a team that is almost scaring me is now Leicester City. It's proving we knew we had the 4 big teams in the Premier League, but this same team from nowhere takes over the Premier League. We are hitting the Christmas season.
Yeah, what amazed me, first thing first, is the thinker man, the so-called thinker man. Mr.
And of course, sorry for the Arsenal fans, because we knew they were celebrating their Christmas season on top of the table.
They are not far though, but Leicester City has shown the world that we are there to stay. We are not here to go. And the fact that Leicester City has scored in 14 consecutive league games. Jamie Vardy in particular scored in 14 consecutive games, and Leicester City have scored in every Premier League game this season. So when you are playing with Leicester City, don't think about them not scoring against you. And again, only Borussia Dortmund, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, has more goals than Leicester City Jamie Vardy. Emerick Aubameyang has 18, Vardy has 15 in Europe. So he's the second best striker in the entire Europe. Forget about Ronaldo. Forget about Lionel Messi. Vardy is there. Of course.
And Moses, we can go on with this same talk. Of course, the draws are already out, but of course, because we're out of time, we'll have to, analyze it more. But maybe one thing I've come to see is Sir Alex Ferguson's dream maybe could be a reality by Leicester City taking over the Premier League.
It is going.
But it's still a long season.
There's a long season. He said if they can buy good players in January, they need another holding midfielder, they need another attacking midfielder who can help Hills and Valdi, and if they can do that.
And now I know a lot of drama has been going on, but the whole idea is, I think Sir Alex Ferguson's dream might be coming to reality by Leicester City taking over the Premier League. But of course, a lot of drama still going on in the Premier League, and we're yet to see which team takes the cup. But anyways, let's stop. Let's
wait and see. Let's wait and see, because Leicester City is proving a team to come, stay, not going anywhere, winning week out, week in.
Alright, I know we can go on with this. Of course, local and international news coming up just next in a few minutes.
It's unbelievable, but what you see is what you pay.
Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda Appeals Chamber upheld Pauline Nyiramusuhuko's conviction for conspiracy to commit genocide. The Appeals Chamber ruled out that the former Family Affairs Minister entered into an agreement with members of the interim government on or after April 9, 1994 to kill the Tutsi in then Butare Prefecture. It also upheld findings of her criminal responsibility in relation to attacks at the Butare Prefecture office in May and June 1994, affirming her convictions on the basis that she ordered the killings of the Tutsi who had sought refuge at the office and as a superior of Interahamwe militia who perpetrated rapes there.
The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and African Union Commissioner Chairperson Nkosana Dlamini-Zuma yesterday announced the appointment of Lieutenant General Frank Musho Kamanzi as Force Commander of the African Union United Nations Hybrid Operation in Darfur. The Rwandan will succeed Lieutenant General Paul Ignace Mela of Tanzania, who will complete his assignment on December 31st, according to a statement.
And in regional news, Nigeria's ex-national security advisor has appeared in court charged over an alleged $68 million fraud. Sambo Dasuki was charged on 19 accounts of fraud, money laundering and criminal breach of trust at the High Court in the capital, Abuja. He pleaded not guilty in all accounts. Mr. Dasuki, though, is accused of illegally transferring $50 million from the national security budget to fund election campaigns for members of ex-President Goodluck Jonathan's party.
And in international news, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Moscow for talks to try to bridge gaps with Russia over the political process to end Syria's civil war. He is now in talks with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and will later meet President Vladimir Putin. The U.S. and Russia have long disagreed on the role Syrian President Bashar al-Assad should play in the process. The U.S. wants Mr. Assad to stand down, but Russia says only the Syrian people can decide his fate.
Oh, well, of course, I think a lot of, stories have been going on the war in Syria, and
Right.
I think when I see this kind of meetings taking place, I don't know, I feel like there should be a common ground for understanding, because Russia is not agreeing on the same resolution that is that the USA is giving out. But let's wait and see what comes out of the deal.
Well, what I can say, it's this has been going on for a while.
Of course.
And they definitely have to come to a mutual agreement.
Of course.
So let's just hope for the best and, pray for Russia and just, for Syria and for even other parts of the world that need, all these sort
Let's
out.
see if, the crisis can stop out there.
Right.
Of course, and now I know this is a part that all been waiting for,
Yeah.
And who to do it better than Sherry Wase. So we take a look at what's happening in lifestyle and what's hot in our daily debate section, Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
It's unbelievable, but what you see is what you pay.
welcome back. It's now time for your lifestyle update with me, of course, Sherry Wase. Today we take a stroll through a few tips of healthy living, a few things that are definitely important to know. So I put this for you that you can see these things. So there are a few point outs. Yeah. Now the first one is make appointments with your doctor and dentist. Catch up on your routine screening and take the opportunity to ask questions that you may have to your doctor, of course. Now the second one is gauge your girth. Measure your height and weight so that you can know what your BMI is and know if you're losing weight or adding weight and what could be the cause, whatever you want to do. The third one is assess your activity. How much do you get in a typical week? How intense is that activity? You know, be fit and do all those sorts of things. And then the other one is keep a food diary. Write down everything you eat for a day. Not necessarily writing it down, but you know, just noting it and know what you've eaten, if you have a balanced diet and all that. And then the other thing is check your mood and energy. You know, you have to be in a good mood. Don't be gloomy all the time. You know, don't go picking up fights every other time, because we know people who are like that. So try not to be like that. The other healthy living includes, you know, adequate rest. So that means you have to rest enough. You know, take 7 to 8 hours of rest in a night. And then the other one is consider your social network. That means you have to keep your social life alive. You know, meet your friends, your family, and then, you know, connect with all those people. So basically that's what I have for you today in lifestyle. So I hope that you'll go and be able to practice these things on your own. Ivan.
Oh, well, quite frankly speaking, I don't know. When was the last time I went out for a checkup for, like, you know,
to see a doctor?
To see a doctor.
Or a dentist.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you get cozy with work and you get a little bit tight out here, so it's not that easy to always follow up. And even our diet, I'm honestly not going to lie you, because sometimes, you know, the hours are so fixed that you find that you're not getting that balanced diet that you're supposed to be getting.
Or you just eat because it's time to eat.
And because you're hungry.
Yeah, and because you're hungry.
Yes. So
but you don't really consider what you've been eating. And you know, something that you mentioned about seeing a doctor, we only see a doctor if something is really wrong.
Exactly.
And some things are just very, they're very small, they're very minimal. I mean, with the dentist, there's some things that require common sense. Don't use a toothbrush for a whole year. When I was doing my research on this, don't use your toothbrush for a whole year. And actually, you're supposed to change it every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
Yeah, but people are so busy.
When was the last time you changed it?
Actually, I'm thinking of changing it. And I've been thinking of changing it for a while now. I just keep on forgetting. But that's the way it's supposed to be. And I hope that this is going to speak out to somebody. So,
well, something else you noted out was with the social network.
Social networking.
Your life. I mean, your life in terms, you know, with family, with friends. I think it's something that we, as you know, as people, have lost connection with. You know, especially with new innovations, technology, work, and everything. So you find that most people don't have that time to interact, and such an amazement that is part of, you know, what you just mentioned. So I don't know how does people need to really understand that, you know, your social life really
is very important. It's very important. So you have friends, you have family, you just need to make time for them, be with them, you know, hang out, just do something that's out of your daily routine. And then this is other thing, Ivan.
Yes.
When did you have you ever checked your BMI?
No.
Okay, I did it when I was in college, but that was a while ago. And this is something that people really need to know. So you can know what's your height, you know, you can know what's your weight. Sometimes you've lost weight and you need to know what is making me lose weight, but people don't really understand this. And another thing that I didn't read, but I know it's also important, knowing your blood group.
Oh, I know mine. At least I know mine.
You do? I also know mine. Yes. So I think it's very important for people to find out those small details about themselves. Because sometimes, God forbid, and this should never happen to anyone, you might need someone to give you blood And if no one knows you,
maybe Moses could have also
Yeah.
a little bit to talk about on this same issue.
Thank you so much. For me, healthy living is one of the most important things for any human being, because at the end of the day,
Yes.
we are here to stay. We are not here to go at any time soon. And the only way to stay is
we have to we have to make sure we're here for long.
first thing first is to practice sports.
Right.
You know,
Of course.
as sports people, you know, sport is the biggest ingredient of someone to live healthier and live long. Second is know what you eat, and you know when to eat and know when to rest. Myself is I've been practicing that.
Come on, Moses, that's a very big guy. At least I know part of your schedule. At least I know part of your schedule.
I don't only talk sports, but I also practice sports.
All right.
Yes, we know you.
And on top of that, yeah, I kind of you know, life and schedule, and sometimes you miss time, but it's very important, and I encourage everyone not to be like me, and also try to be like you. But I'm trying my best to also get down to, you know, to be able that I'm physically fit, and I'm trying my best, and I'm doing it. And I encourage every single person also to learn from that, because it's very important, and know which type of sports you do, because it's not every sport that is very healthy for a person. You need to know what to do and where to go.
Of course.
And what fits you.
What fits you,
because
of
you
course.
can't tell me to go and play rugby. I would die that same day. Heart
You
attack
can
and
be a
I'm
fly.
done.
You can be a fly at number 10. All the rugby people and run.
Yeah, you don't have to explain.
I'm tempted to ask what that is, but let's I don't even know what that
I
is.
thought at the moment I felt like somebody who flies or something like that. Anyway.
We'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that. And I think I can just go on ahead and introduce the whole topics that I have for today. So as you know, the Rise and Shine team, we're always up and about gathering everything that you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from the debates in your local cafe, and I've got it all for you right here, right now.
Yeah.
And now we kick it off with a very, very sad story.
Yes.
Local artist Safari Papi John unfortunately passed away on Saturday after being admitted at Sehashika the same day. The funeral was just yesterday, as it was publicly announced. Now, Papi was famously known in one of his songs that I like so much, called Umutima Ukunda, and many others. From us, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just
To me, Papi John reminded me that we need to love and we need to care. We need to love our belongings and our families and our friends, and especially for fathers and mothers to their children, because Omutima Ukunda, the song itself is, you know, if you heard about the song, if you listen about the song, it was actually the song that I used to hear every single time. You know, always when you are angry, you know, someone made you angry, you listen that song and it makes you feel like, yeah, I need to forgive, you know. It's very unfortunate that he passed away, but he brought a lot to music industry and to youth in general, because he has been a good public figure in so many different actions.
Right, that's
So it's very unfortunate for the Rwandan music and his family in particular, and from us again, may his soul rest in peace.
right.
Safi Papi John. Now, when I talk about Safi Papi John, I recall the days when we used to watch TVR in the 2000s.
And there are like not more than five artists.
Safi Papi John was the guy on TV.
He was.
And uniquely enough, he had some good videos, you know, because he had this kind of genre, the African style of music, and he used to mix it with kind of reggae, because you know, he was from the Rastafarian family, and of course it's a very big sad story for the Rastafarian family out there.
It is, yeah.
And of course for the music industry, I recently was trying to, you know, look at different messages from different people. We had messages from across the USA, from Medi's, you know, the R&B star here, and where he was saying, you know, you're gone too soon, you are a very big inspiration to many of us who are growing up in the music industry. So, I mean, for Safi Papi John, I think it's a very big loss for the, you know, for the music industry. But again, as always, we need to know what kind of lesson do we need to learn from Safi Papi John. He represented the Rastafarian family in a good way. He represented music in a good way. We didn't see Papi John in the news with negative comments. We saw him, you know, with good songs, building hearts. He came in a time where the music industry was very hard to portray in and, you know, get a song to be a hit. But Safi Papi John's music was heard in Rwanda, Safi Papi John was heard in Burundi. So to me, we've lost a legend in the music, and we've lost somebody with experience. And of course, we sincerely extend our sincere, heartfelt warming. So,
yeah. What I can say about him is that I think his music, and when we were listening to his music growing up, so it was like a turnover. It was a new culture that was introduced in the music industry. So this definitely marks him as a legend. But you know what they usually say, what people leave behind, and he left with us the best gift that he could give us, which was his music.
Absolutely.
And we can only say, may his soul rest in peace, and may his family, find strength and comfort in this hard time.
Absolutely.
And now moving on to something rather interesting. Bill Cosby, accused by more than 40 women of sexual assault, has filed a lawsuit claiming that several of them lied about him for financial gain. Now, Mr. Cosby, who is 78 years old, is seeking unspecified monetary damages and said the women inflicted emotional distress. He called their accusations nothing more than an opportunist attempt to extract financial gain from him. However, the accusers say that Mr. Cosby, over the period of decades, piled them with alcohol, drugged them, and sexually assaulted them. The lawsuit contains that the women engaged in a campaign to assassinate his reputation and character. It's one thing that really I never really like about the media. We know how this guy is very prominent. He's a very prominent guy. He's been in the movie industry. He is an icon for very many years, and he has shaped many people,
especially African American
actors and actresses. And this has come out. It's been going on for a while. I understand.
Yes.
And these women were accusing him of assaulting most of them, 40 of them, sexually. So you tend to think, how can one person accuse you, two people, not three, not four, not 10,
40.
but 40 people? And he's been cool about it. Yes, until now he's speaking up and he's saying these are just lies. They're just lies. So it leaves us with why, man? Why would someone want to lie for you? And why are these people, he's saying they want to ruin his reputation and character and how people know him. So there's a lot. I don't have any stand on that, really. I don't really know what to say, Ivan.
Well, one thing I have to say is that when the story of Cosby came out, it was a shock to the world. Cosby is an icon to the children because, in the Cosby Show, everyone laughed. The Cosby Show was a family drama series. So for every person, it was a shock. And now seeing, because I've been watching this thing closely and trying to see these different women, and some of these women have been featured on very big American shows to talk about how he molested them, how he was, sexually abusing them. And funny enough, every day a new story comes out. Tomorrow we might hear 50 more women coming out. Well, of course, we leave it at the hand of the justice to do their work. But I think the mere fact that most people have been waiting for Cosby to talk about it because he wasn't so cool about it.
He was silent. He was a bit silent.
He was very silent about it. But of course, 40 people coming out on state media clearly saying that you sexually abused them. This has been emotional distress, as he said, for him. And also not forgetting that this is killing his reputation day by day. Bill Cosby has been is still one of the most respected American actors, and at this moment that these accusations come in, I think this is a very big issue for him, of course. And we've seen some of these women are protesting in some places where he goes for different shows, for different appearances. This is actually killing his reputation, and I can't wait to see what comes out of the trials if we're to go to trial.
Yeah, but okay, let's just Moses, yes.
Basically, for Cosby, it's now time. It's one of actually these moments where you need to stand strong and understand the situation and be able to know how to get out of the situation, because this could be a moment when your reputation can be completely ruined. And when you're a successful person in the world, especially actors, and there are a lot of people who always land behind your neck trying to to distress you, to try to degrade you, because they say it's easy to be successful. but it's hard to stay successful, to stay there on top.
Yeah.
And for Cosby, he has maintained that level and has stayed there. But this is going to be a tough moment for him now to realize how to do and how to deal with this situation. And we don't know whether it's true or whether it's false. You know, we can't know. Of course, 40 and more people accusing you the same case. You know, you tend to ask, is it true or it's not true? But now it has to be left to the justice to know exactly how they're going to handle this, because he has to be very careful and has to think twice to know how to deal with this situation, because it can be a turn up and can be a
and remember
kind of
also, Sherry, this is a very delicate case to do, because some of these women said they were sexually assaulted in the in the early 1990s. So it's been long. You
don't even have any evidence.
So far now, and then after so many years, this brings out an issue of our women out here. Maybe. I'll speak on behalf of the women in, the issue that there are some women have the issue with violence and sexual abuse, but the mere fact that they don't speak up because, society will judge them. So, again, this is what some of these women were saying. Who are we to talk about Cosby during the 1990s? Cosby was the guy on TV. Cosby was the guy to watch for the late night shows. So, this is very hard it's a very delicate case. And I hope that the justice system in the U.S. handles it.
Yeah, and one thing that you would never know, even his conduct during this whole saga has been very remarkable. So you can't really tell who is on the right and who is on the wrong, But let's just wait and look up for the results that are going to come up. I am very much interested in this case.
I was going to say, why waiting for more than 25 years to bring back the case, if that case has happened back in 1990? Because justice has always been there. And there is people who follow the human right. And for this time around, let's wait and see who is right and who is wrong. Of course. Yeah,
definitely. And now moving on, like much of Africa, Uganda has a vibrant technology and startup sense, Now, some of the technology being developed is geared towards e-commerce and creating jobs, but others are using their computer programming skills to create tools to solve Uganda's development challenges. Now, Yoza, a locally developed Android app, helps users find laundry services. Yoza means to wash, which is in the native language of Uganda called Luganda. Now, Yoza is like Uganda's version of Uber for dirty laundry, using technology like location detection and social ratings to match service providers with clients. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
I think more people should go innovation, creativity, creating jobs, and all this is a great invention, And let's just say that this is an app that is very much needed, especially in urban environments, centers. So these people came up with an app. Actually, it was a particular one specific guy who a gentleman who came up with this app. And this app, you just have to get the app on your phone or whatever, or online, and then you sign up and you can get the nearest service, laundry servicing. Yeah, Ivan.
Well, this is what we call innovation. What Africa is rising, and for me particularly now, Uganda has proven to be one of because we talk about a lot of tech coming to Uganda. We've seen Google implement some of its Wi-Fi cables in Uganda, but first on this same app, it's Uber, as commonly known, for example, in the US, UK, and India, is that app where you have to look for the closest person, taxi to drive you around.
Hiring a car?
Hiring a car. Okay. So you have to look for the closest person to come and give you the service, and you pay them. And now bringing it in the African context, of course, for us, Uber wouldn't mean so much because not so many people use taxis here.
Yeah.
But so many.
Oh, by the way, I think I had something about a moto app.
Yes.
Is it operating already?
Already, I think we should try look at research
about
it. I think it's Safe Motors.
Yes.
I think it's Safe Motors.
Yeah.
But this same app is very good because I think of course it will create jobs for some people, because it's not really that easy to go find somebody who can do laundry for you without going on calling if you don't know them particularly as a person. But I think it's innovation is coming up, and such kind of apps are changing lives, and this is good for Uganda and good for Africa.
It's very good, very interesting and beautiful, because the kind of world we are living in is a technological world. It's a world of innovation and creativity, and for Ugandans, they proved it that this is the way we are heading. Because this schedule of people, people are waking up in the morning at 7. You know, the day is becoming too short, according to so many people.
Yes, it is.
And you don't have that time to go up and down and you know, give people to do run for you. You don't have house girl, house
And
boy
laundry
to-
machines are very expensive.
Very
yeah,
expensive,
some
yeah.
of people don't have that money to buy those machines, but you can go on an app with your phone. Most people have Androids, and you can go on phone and say, okay, the next person is here. I call them, they come pick the clothes, and they go, they wash them, and they bring them back, and you pay, because that's how life should be. Life in a modern world is look for someone to do this
Mobile.
particular service on a cheap money, because you don't have that time to go and wait. You know, it's beautiful. I wish it can come in one as well.
Yeah. And you know, one thing that I really like about this kind of innovations, it's creating it's looking for a need that is necessary to society. Yeah, I mean, like although my question is, this lady, okay, I'm thinking most of them are probably women or other young people who are just trying to find a living. Do these people have smartphones? That's the question here.
Well, I think with the, you know, at this moment they say Africa is the most connected, is growing to be the most connected with mobiles.
Okay.
For most people, I think even mobile phones, app phones have become cheaper in Africa,
Yeah,
because
they
you
have,
can now
yeah.
even get a phone at 20,000 Rwandan francs, and it's an Android. So, well, I think, of course, it's still a challenge. Not every app comes with tech comes, of course, the gadgets that are needed to run the apps, but I think they are very feasible in the market, and they
Yeah.
can still get them.
And I also think, just giving you an example of what's happening here in Rwanda, I know that many people are understanding the need to have a phone that can operate these apps. The other day I went to the market,
Yes.
and then I was looking for something, and this lady was like, "Nta kibazo nzaze kohereza kuri WhatsApp."
Ah, wow.
And I'm like, wow, I was very impressed, you know, and I like that is where we're heading.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just wrap it up right there, and we will be back after the break. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW, like us on Facebook, and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page, where you can catch all the reports and shows that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures. Or check us our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. We love to hear your feedback, and please do let us know if you have any ideas for this program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Sherry Uwase.
And me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.